and
this is live from the table, the official podcast at New York's world famous Comedy Cellar, coming at you on Sirius XM 99 Raw Dog and on the Riotcast Podcast Network. This is Dan Naturman. Noam is here as usual, the owner of the world famous Comedy Cellar, Periel Aschenbrand, our producer, and our guests are two beloved Comedy Cellar comedians, Robert Kelly, who you might know from the hit series Louie, Inside Amy Schumer, the movie Trainwreck, Nurse Jackie, Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn. He hosts the top-rated podcast, You Know What, Dude. And we also have Rich Vos with us, beloved by audiences around the globe. He has over 100 television appearances and is the co-host of My Wife Hates Me podcast. I think that's also on the Riotcast Podcast Network. Is that the case?
It's on Laugh Button Live. The Riotcast doesn't exist. You're not on Riotcast either.
Yeah, Laugh
We're all on Laugh Button Live, which I think used to be Riotcast, was folded in. It doesn't matter. Laugh Button Live for all your podcasting needs. Welcome one and all. Noam, let's start things off. I know Noam's got a lot to say on this New Year's Eve when we are recording, sliding into 2021.
Got a live countdown going on behind me.
Are they having people in Times Square tomorrow?
I doubt it. I mean,
yeah, homeless people. And there's going to be a bunch of black kids on bikes.
Why?
Nothing.
No.
So listen, first of all, Robert, just to clear a little business here. You know, we did that Comedy Cellar thing last night. You were invited on, and apparently you didn't answer the email.
Not true.
Oh, okay. I mean, I should.
Not true. I went through my emails. Never got an email. Well, also, when you don't get an email back, there's a text message, there's a phone, there's a voice, there's FaceTime, there's Zoom, there's other people. You don't just send somebody one email and assume they got it if they don't respond.
Well, you know what it is, Robert. Not everybody's like you. In this business.
Did you say none of us like you? I'll take that.
If I did, it was a Freudian.
That makes sense.
I'm thinking that, but go ahead.
In this business, it's quite ordinary to not get an email returned, and that's usually by design. Someone doesn't want to say no, so they just ignore you. So you don't usually follow up. You're different because you're pretty fastidious about communication, so you will always answer.
Stop. Explain that to Voss, that word.
You're pretty reliable, pretty exact. You're obsessive compulsive.
Yeah, that's it. It's your OCD. So like when Hatem texted you or emailed you and you didn't answer, he probably figured, well, I don't want to bother him, so I'm just going to let it sit there. That's what happened.
Oh.
But I mean, I can go through the emails. I don't have an email.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll find the email and then actually while you're doing it, while you're talking, I'll text Hatem and ask him to send me the email.
I think the singer R. Kelly got it. Hey, Noam, off the record, I mean, real quick, when we used to do the Cellar podcast every night, the one back in the beginning of this, it was so much fun. And when you were on, it was great because it turned into political and you ran it well.
You mean the one when Noam would sit there like this?
No, I thought he was into it in the beginning.
I was.
Yeah. What happened? Why did it just fade away? And you quit out of nowhere with no warning. SD bailed out. And I thought it was a good podcast.
Well, if someone had told me they thought it was good while it was happening, I might have been encouraged to keep it. But I didn't feel that it was good. And I went into like a little dark period there. I mean, I'm still a little bit in a dark period, but I was even darker there, and I just couldn't do it. I was getting depressed.
Wasn't it also like basically a pandemic thing? And then it's kind of like when everybody used to clap at 7 p.m. for the doctors and nurses, and eventually they just stopped doing it. Analogously, it was sort of a pandemic thing, and who expected the pandemic to last this long?
I didn't really mean to stop doing it altogether. I wanted to just take a week off or something, and then I don't know.
All right.
Can I say something? I don't know what you and Bob. Well,
why are you so loud?
All right, hold on. Hatem is here.
Shit out of me.
Hatem.
You literally just scared the shit out of me.
Can you hear talk, Hatem?
Well, can he just, if he wants to come on, can he come on normally?
You want to come on? Can I send you a link and you can come on the Zoom show?
Sure. Okay.
I'll send you a link right now. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sounds like he's in outer space.
I just want. Am I still too loud?
You're fine. Go ahead, Perry.
You're just.
told you a second-
That's just the way I. Maybe because you're a woman, I'm hearing you loud, like I hear my wife.
Oh,
You sound like you're talking like this. Did you call the repairman? Did you plunge the toilet?
Wow.
I found money in your drawer.
Go ahead, Periel. What do you want to say?
Well, I was gonna stick up for Bobby, but I'm sort of changing my mind right now.
Now you feel like his
Sorry.
wife.
I was gonna say that I didn't know what you guys were talking about, but I couldn't resist the opportunity to disagree with Noam. In that I tried to reach Bobby twice via text message, and I didn't hear back from him, so I called him.
And I picked up the phone.
Yeah.
But Noam is also
Nice.
like sometimes a non-response means don't bother me, and so you take it.
No.
What I'm saying is that people are intimidated by Robert Kelly. He doesn't realize it, or maybe he does realize it and he kind of likes it. But
no, not at all. Periel,
if Naturman didn't answer, if Naturman hadn't answered, Hatem would have texted him like, "What the fuck? You want to be on my show or not?" But he's not going to talk to you like that.
When you asked me to be on the show, what did I say, Periel?
You told me that you were busy and you were doing another show and that you had to go. No, I'm just kidding.
No. When you originally asked me, what'd you say?
And I said, "Do you want to come on the show?"
And what did I say?
You said, "Sure."
And I said, what? Just remind me.
You said, "Who else is going to be there?" And I said, "Rich Voss," and you said no.
Yeah. Oh, well, why did he carry through with it?
It was a joke, Voss.
I know, dummy, so was that.
Well, yours didn't come across as a joke. Yours came across as hurtful and you meant it.
Oh, are you looking at me? Because you're not focusing.
Noam, do we want to do another? We did it last night, but do you want to do some more thoughts on the end of the year?
Yeah, I want to talk about. I also want to talk about the Borat movie. What you guys thought about the Borat movie? But I also want to ask you a question because I know you guys have all been to a lot of therapy.
Oh God,
Periel, what is an imposter complex? What do they call that?
Well, I've never heard of
Imposter
it.
complex.
Imposter or
Imposter complex.
I know what pasta complex is.
I think that without Googling, I think it's when a successful person feels that he doesn't merit his success, and that at any moment they're going to find out that he's a fraud.
Wait, is Periel a therapist? Are you a therapist?
Are you out of your mind?
Who, me?
No, her. If she was a therapist, she wouldn't be doing the show.
So I think that's what I've been feeling a lot of lately and during COVID. It's not quite that, but like it's not just like it's like what am I doing these shows for? Why do I have a comedy club? Like I have a lot of like people I email with who are kind of
You're listening to the Talking Heads or something?
prominent intellectuals, and I'm like, why do I even bother them? Why am I emailing them? They don't want to hear from me. It's just like I just want to retreat. I don't like the last 2 years that I became like a semi or quarter or eighth octoroon public figure. I think I don't like it. I think I liked it better when I was just totally behind the scenes. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, but
Yeah,
like,
but
what's your barometer on public figure?
Well, the fact that I do a podcast that I'm like I did an interview in the Gothamist this week, and then I'm stressing everything I said, and it's like,
Christ.
Well, that's not the imposter syndrome. That's just you're
overwhelmed.
You're a recluse, but you don't feel that you don't merit or that you're not intelligent.
Oh, he is.
well, I don't feel that I'm unintelligent, but I also don't know what I feel, but I know that
I've told you a million times when you go head to head with these intellectuals, you are more than.
You tell me that, and I appreciate that.
And since I'm not one to give you compliments. In fact, I'm looking for ways to insult you. You know, it's sincere.
I know. But you know, that's typical of people who have this so-called complex, is that people tell them, you know, what they do.
Yeah, but you're a musician, you're a comedy club owner, you own the restaurant, and you feel like you're actually doing stuff that comics do. You're on the podcast, you're out in the thing, you're giving interviews, your opinions out there, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I shouldn't be doing this. I should just keep my trap shut, own the club, make my money, enjoy my family, swim in my pool, go to Maine once a year, and call it a day, right?
Yeah, exactly, Robert.
Yeah, but you can't do that because of the type of personality you are. You went to law school for a reason, because you love to argue a point, you love to win, you love to prove things wrong, you love the puzzle of it all, you love figuring shit out. And with all this fucked up shit that's happening, wrap it up. You, with all this, yeah. See you. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing, a fucking documentary on the guy?
I'm just reading this off of a website.
What?
I like all those things.
Yes, you do. And
I
you
like
love
them better at the table under the radar, at the olive tree.
Yeah, when you can use words that we can't say on Zoom.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the truth is, at the table, we didn't always discuss those sorts of things that you like to discuss, and we didn't have the guests that we have
I know.
on the podcast. Hatem, should we say hello to Hatem, who's just...
Listen, we're living through a very bad time for mental health, so who knows what the fuck I'm really feeling. Hatem, why didn't you invite Robert on our show yesterday?
Well, you know, I was just leaving. Why? I first don't understand. Why is that a big deal?
Yeah, but first, Hatem, I want to thank you for having me.
Of course, Richard. You're the first person that I thought of.
I had a great,
Exactly.
I had
I
a great
don't. Can I
time.
say something though?
Yeah.
I don't expect Hatem to invite me.
That's not true.
I don't have a problem with Hatem. If that was Hatem's show, I have a problem with you, Noam, not saying. Hang on. Let me finish.
Sure.
Not saying, hey, why don't we have Robert? That's why I called you.
Listen,
If I had a problem with Hatem, I would have called Hatem. I called you and said, you're having a show, the year's end. I started the fucking Zoom podcast. I'm the one who did it 6 nights a week on this thing, every night hosting it for hours, having to talk you from putting a gun to your fucking mouth, right? So you could have fun. For months I did it. And then you do a year-end review. I have a couple fans say, why aren't you doing this? I don't know. Let me call the owner of everything and ask him why he's not having me on it. You had fucking Esther Koo, who doesn't even work your goddamn club, on it. And then I have no problem.
I love her.
And then you tell me you haven't tell me, oh, you were invited. No, I wasn't. There's no emails. There's no text messages. If there's any time to invite somebody to something and you get it, it's now. Voicemail, fucking Duo, FaceTime, fucking Zooms, text message, video text, audio text. I mean, what the fuck?
Can I answer now? Can I say something?
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
Bobby, Noam just said he's going through a lot. You know, cut him a break.
Listen, my dryer just broke and my water pressure just fucking failed. I'm going through a lot too.
Let me say my thing, you know, because I think it's not fair that I'm not heard, and I just assumed that I wouldn't invite you to my show because you said you don't expect it if it's not. That's not true. First of all, the show was my idea, and Noam really, to be honest, like he wasn't involved as much. I put the lineup.
I wasn't involved at all.
Yeah, I had the idea. You know, I called everybody. The reason, you know, I didn't do it with you because months ago, I emailed you. You never even returned my emails. And I feel that you don't want to be bothered by me. I only call and text people that, you know, wanted to get back to me. Even in Christmas, I texted
What email did you?
Let me finish, please.
What email? No, I won't. What email?
I
won't, because I don't need to go through this shit. If you sent me an old email and it didn't get to me, I have a text message from you the other day.
I didn't send you an email about this show. I said I sent you an email a long time ago.
Merry Christmas, Bobby.
Yeah. When did you respond?
And I wrote Merry Christmas, buddy, back immediately.
2 days ago.
Why would I not respond to your fucking email?
You never responded to my emails before?
Why would I? Yes, I have. I have, about your podcast, and I let you know. And you text message me, and I respond to you. Why would I not respond to a fucking email that you sent me? I don't have this email, by the way.
Robert, he just had a heart transplant. Maybe you want to take it down a notch.
Yeah, well, I'm about to have one.
No, it's not true. First of all, it's not fair to accuse someone of something that's already not a crime, first of all. Second of all, I felt that you are not wanted to be bothered. Like, honestly.
No, I love you. And I would say no.
listen, I feel maybe you don't want to have nothing to do with me. So
are you
my
crazy?
email maybe what would I?
Why
do?
would you send me a Merry Christmas if you feel I want
Because I
nothing
care
to
about
do with you?
Because
And
I
what
care
did
about
and
you.
what did I send back?
2 days later. If that was Noam, when did you send it back? Let's be honest. Let's just be honest. You want to put
and if I don't 2 days later, I had a kid. I don't fucking talk to anybody on Christmas, and I sent Noam. Noam didn't even
any minute.
Noam,
So don't give me excuses about like
Noam didn't even send me a fucking Merry Christmas.
I said if he did. What if Colin
Joe.
sent you? What if Rich sent you?
I sent everybody a Merry Christmas 2 days later.
Yeah.
No, 2 days later. I sent them Merry
Well,
Christmas.
that was not the first experience. The second experience was the emails that I send you so many times, and then I send you reminders. And based on the conversation that you had,
that's where it's from. So that's fine. You don't want me to have me on that show because you don't. It's you. It's not me, not them. It's you.
No,
you just said it. It's you. You don't like that I don't email you about something. So you don't want nothing to do with me. So I don't want nothing to do with you. So that's fucking fine. You just said it. Don't put it on me, motherfucker.
I didn't say I don't want you on the show. I said you don't respond to anything. So why would I even?
That's not true. I just responded to you. But what you said 2 days later. What are you, my wife? I responded 2 days later. Merry Christmas.
I demand the respect that I give, Bobby.
You don't demand respect. You just get it.
No.
It's not respect. Merry Christmas is not about respect.
Yes, it is.
Merry Christmas is either you fucking mean it or you don't.
Yeah,
so if you're doing it to get a Merry Christmas back, you don't fucking mean it.
Don't mean it then,
Then you don't mean it because you're doing it waiting for a response. Merry Christmas.
Oh, no.
You didn't respond. Fuck him. You're not doing it from here. You're doing it from here.
You can think
I sent Merry Christmases out to people, right? A couple days later, and nobody said something back. You know when I said Merry Christmas to Noam? Didn't say shit back.
I don't care about Noam. I care.
Doesn't matter to me.
Our relationship. If I email you something, you don't email me back. Then you don't want.
No, you don't know exactly. It's about respect for you. It's not about Merry Christmas to you. Is about respect, not about Merry Christmas.
No. Don't try to twist the thing to make like.
No, I'll fucking say whatever I want because that's what it is.
Yeah, of course, because it's over.
Don't tell me no.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Zoom, because it's over Zoom. You would never.
What does that mean? What do you want to get physical now?
Oh, you can't get physical with me.
Is that what you want?
Did you forget?
No, I'm asking. What does that mean over Zoom? I'd say it to your face.
Because you're trying to be like a tough guy, and you're not.
I'm not being a tough guy. You're being an asshole saying You're saying about respect. You're making shit about respect.
Yeah,
you started out saying, I invited you. I didn't think you wanted to do it. Then you went to, you don't respect me. That's why I didn't invite you.
Yes, I didn't say that. I said.
So just say that. Just say, look, Bobby, you don't respect me. I demand respect.
No,
these are your words, not mine. That's your words, not mine.
Okay.
There's two different things.
That's your words, not mine. You said I demand respect.
Well, let me say my words then.
I'm telling you what you said.
Hatem, this is your last word uninterrupted, and then you guys have to make up. Go ahead, Hatem.
No, okay. Thank you. I said two things. There's a personal level and there's a professional level. Okay. Personal level for me. I think Robert is a great guy. He's always been a friend. We went to manage funeral few times, just me and him and Esty, the three of us. We were just talking about it with Esty so many times. So personally, I have nothing, and I would love to have him on the show. Professionally, I feel he wants nothing to do with me, which is okay. Maybe he thinks I'm not a big deal. Maybe I'm not important in his life professionally. I understand that. I don't want to be, send somebody something and he doesn't send it back. I understand that you don't want to do nothing with me professionally. You know what I'm saying? So you need to think about two things. You're mixing them up. If that's what you want, it's up to you.
Listen.
I send you a couple of emails.
Everybody stop for a second. It sounds, since Rich thinks I'm a therapist, I'm going to adopt this role for a second. It sounds like there's a lot of miscommunication going on here. And it sounds
There's no email I got. I'm going to say something. I'm sorry to cut you off. He's saying he sent me an email to do some show that I never got. Okay, I went through my emails. I have emails about it.
I didn't send you an email to do a show you never got.
Well, you said you invited me to do this show, and I never responded.
No, I didn't say that. When did I say that?
You said that
Am I
you sent
crazy?
him an email. Wait a second.
I
Stop.
said-
Everybody.
Wait,
No,
let You just asked. Let her tell you.
You said that you sent him an email a while ago to do a show.
Yes, about the show.
And
When
he's
he wanted, when
saying
he was discussing about having the show in his network, I sent him so many emails, and
But we're not talking. But we're not talking about that. We're not talking about We're not talking about your podcast. We're talking about the show the other night where I don't have a problem with you, Hatem, putting a show together. That's fine. That's your show, right? I called Noam and said, you're doing a year in review of the Comedy Cellar comics and all these people, and you didn't invite me. And he said, it's Hatem's. I didn't know. Hatem said he invited you. And I said, I never got an invite to that show. If you didn't send me an invite to that show, Hatem, that's fine with me. I have no problem with you doing that. Okay? I really don't. You can put whoever you want on your shows. But I think what you're getting, I'm getting confused, and what you're getting confused, you're talking about a podcast that you wanted on Riotcast or a Laugh Button Live. I'm talking about the show you put together the other night. I thought that was Noam's show, and I called Noam and said, you're doing a show and I'm not on it? When I was the one who started all this Zoom stuff. I'm a fucking Comedy Cellar comic. I fucking love everybody, including you, Hatem, believe it or not. And
I know you do.
I said to him, I said, dude, what the fuck? And he was like, oh, no, it was Hatem's show. And I go, yeah, but you didn't invite me. You're not having me on the show? And he's like, then he sent me a text message, Hatem invited you. And I was like, no, he didn't. Never invited me. And you just said it. You're not talking. You didn't invite me on that show the other night.
I didn't say I invited you at that show. But what we did do, though, in the beginning of the show, Liz texted you and said, do you want to be in the show? Right?
Because I was, and I said,
Bobby, do you really need an invitation? Like, you could just jump in.
It's not, let me tell you something. Colin Quinn never got invited to Patrice's barbecue after he stopped going just 2 times. And he called Patrice and said, what the fuck? And Patrice said, you don't come. Why am I inviting you? He goes, it doesn't matter. I still deserve the invite. You invite me whether I come or not because of who I am to you.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay? And as far as the Christmas shit goes, dude, you sent me a Merry Christmas, right? And I know you don't think it's an excuse, but having a kid and a family, my kid doesn't have anybody to play with. I'm with him all fucking day. When I saw that, and I got a ton of those Merry Christmases, right? And yeah, I should have responded to everybody that day immediately. I didn't. I put my phone down and I tried to spend the day without my fucking dumb phone and play with my kid and fuck around with him, right?
That's fine.
And then when I got back to it, I went immediately to yours and wrote Merry Christmas, buddy.
Maybe to you, I'm indifferent, but for me, December 26th, 2 years in a row, you and me and Esty went to Manny's thing to visit him and after. So to me, that was a special day for you, me and her. And I was just talking to Esty the other day, and we're talking about when you were taking the people's stole, when you told Esty.
Me too, dude.
So to me, maybe I felt it was a special that you would email back. That's it.
Yeah, dude, I did, and I didn't do it in time, and I apologize for that, but that's something that you could say, hey, bro, why did you not text me? I texted you on Christmas. You texted me, and I would have been like, "Fuck,
but the thing is, I'm not mad. That's the thing. Like I'm mad now because
but you made it about respect, which doesn't make sense to me.
Well, Bobby, it sounds like you're sorry, Rich. Go ahead.
Bobby, on Christmas when we talked on the phone for an hour and a half that day, I mean, it was, about a lot of stuff. You don't think maybe after we hung up, you could have texted? I don't know.
I didn't have time, Rich. I was talking.
Honestly, like,
Jeff,
it's so stupid. Like, to be honest, like, first of all, you know how I feel about you. I know how you feel about me,
Yeah, but I wasn't mad at you. I was mad at Noam.
You shouldn't, because really, he was honestly 100%.
We all should be mad at Noam.
Nothing to do with it, zero. He doesn't even know who was invited, to be honest. Like, he didn't know anything, Noam doesn't respond to my emails, so I don't even let him know anything. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, Hatem, he lives 5 minutes away from me. I've seen him once in a year.
I know. Like, listen, but he's a great friend, and he does a lot to me, and so are you. You know,
He's never called me.
That's so weird because I live like 2 hours
But-
from Noam, and
by
he's
the
been
way,
by
I know
my
that-
house 5 times.
And
I wanna
listen,
say a few
Robert,
things. First of
I know
all-
just to end with one thing.
Okay, yeah, go
I know you're not gonna believe this, but ask Mike, Mike, the producer, your producer, my producer.
Yeah.
Ask him who I told him we're missing from this show 2 days before, and I told him I'm gonna call him right now, and I just happened to forget. Ask him who.
But he said he tried to talk to you that night, and you were like, no.
No. When?
He said, should I call Robert? Should we get Robert?
No, that did not happen. 2 days
Well,
before
listen,
that, I said
here-
we're missing somebody. I said, Robert. I said,
Let's
I'm
get
gonna
him
call
on
right now.
here.
I'm afraid we're trying
Let's get him on
audience to-
here.
Yeah, Mike, you're here, Mike.
No,
We can invite him. Otherwise, I'm afraid we're trying the audience's patience.
Yes.
I think that it's clear that there's a misunderstanding here. Both of you are feeling insulted because in some way you feel the other one doesn't love you.
No,
And,
I don't have a
this is
problem with
your-
Hatem at all. I really don't. I love Hatem, and
Well-
I don't try to
You
disrespect.
felt slighted by him, and he felt
I
that
felt
you him.
slighted by you, not him.
You are like my wife. My
If
wife can
Hatem,
literally-
if
my
it,
wife can bring any argument back to me. It doesn't.
If
Literally,
I-
it happened just today. She was yelling and screaming at our son Nicholas, and by the end, she was yelling and screaming at me. And
If I-
it just
yeah,
turned
well-
into me.
well, if Hatem, listen, Hatem can do whatever he wants in the show, and if I wasn't on that show, I wouldn't be like, what the fuck? I get it. Hatem has a full boat, but I was like you. That's why I called you. You
But
should
to
be like
honest,
Robert
as
should
I
be on
said,
that show.
He
So,
has nothing
and
to
I want-
do with it. And
Okay.
at the end, now I'm thinking about it, even though, you know, I did.
Hatem,
really-
hold on. Hatem, don't you have some anti-rejection medication to take? I want to get a word in edgewise. I'm kidding. Hello? Nothing?
It's not funny.
Not funny? All right. All right. I thought it was funny. So listen, when we first started the podcast, I thought at the time, you and I spoke about it, that maybe it would catch on because it was a pandemic and it was an opportunity. And then it didn't really catch on. So I didn't bother you about doing the podcast anymore. At first, when I thought maybe it could be good for you, actually, because we have 150,000 people on our mailing list, and we sent out an email. And if it caught on, then it would have been terrific to have Robert Kelly involved in it because it could have benefited you. But as it didn't catch on, then I didn't really want to bother you doing that show all the time. And then
I just couldn't do
I really
it.
don't want to bother people. Like when I saw that he asked Norton, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hope Norton felt comfortable saying no, you know. That's it.
You know what the thing is, though, is because you're not the person who's asking people to come on the show all the time. It's like if somebody doesn't want to come on the show, they're not going to come on the show. Nobody's doing these things to do people favors.
Yeah.
I mean, I ask people, that's, all we do, right?
No, people do favors. I do podcasts to do favors.
Yeah, so do I. But I waited months. I was in the car listening to this podcast. I go, how come I've never done this? How come I haven't done it? And I didn't harbor a big resentment. I just
I started this fucking podcast.
Wait,
I've been on
that's
twice.
I'm going to be
I've
honest.
been on twice.
Wait, listen to me. I'm going to be honest with both of you. I haven't asked you guys because I didn't want to bother either one of you. I wasn't sure
Oh,
that
I never want to be asked again. Please, I mean, keep to that.
I'm
wait,
serious.
I don't want.
It's not a bother to email because I'll tell you the truth. And I'm like, I love doing podcasts now because it fills time up. There's a lot to talk about. And you know what I mean? Like last night when I did that podcast, it was great. There was so many great comics on it. I mean, oh, fuck, Norton and Colin were so funny. Holy shit, was it good last night.
I watched. It wasn't that good.
How many
Wow.
do we
And
have?
and both of them left early.
Okay, Borat, the new Sacha Baron Cohen
Well,
movie.
not new anymore, but why are we talking about Borat now? Just because?
I think we. Maybe I'm not a good judge. I think maybe this is enough for the listeners.
But no, I mean, I do feel
This
like
is the problem with Noam. He worries. He tries to be the people listening. It's like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah,
You-
I
you-
think
you
the
let the-
important part is to make sure that Bobby, because I'm truly listen. I you know me, I can get hot, but I really love all of you.
I know.
And to me, like you, honestly, believe it, like you were the first stand-up comedian I ever seen.
Oh,
you know,
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know it's comedy, but it's okay.
He still came back the next day.
No, but Robert, to me, like, I don't want you to be like you, like family, like you, like Rich and Colin and Jim, and like these people, like, shaped a lot of my life, So why would I not want you in the show? Like, give me one reason. Like,
I'll give you 5.
Well, it's just, to me. Listen to me. If there's a thing going on, as far as we are friends, if you have a problem with me getting back to you or something like that, just call me and go, hey, dude, I got a problem with you.
But I really don't have a problem. I really don't.
I would literally.
Like, somebody doesn't want to get bothered. Like Noam doesn't want to get bothered.
Not at all,
listen,
dude.
Noam is doing the podcast for me, so I don't want him to get any, little even blame for this, because I honestly,
I still
if
blame.
there's something to blame, it's
him.
me. Like,
I still blame Noam. It's Noam's
oh,
fault.
I blame the Jews in general and Noam in specific.
Yes.
But
I blame the Jews.
Yeah, me too.
There's a lot of Jews on this show right now. We should be careful.
Well, there's less than normal. Normally, it's a higher percentage.
Yeah.
Than
there's mostly Jews. It's just me and you right now who celebrate Christmas.
Well, listen,
yeah.
And why don't you say? Just apologize, Hudson.
For what?
What?
You tell me what to apologize for.
We're not inviting him on the show.
So let me apologize to every single comedian in the world.
But I'm not every single comedian. You just said that I was the first one.
You should just show.
Do you celebrate Christmas? I thought you were Muslim.
I'm a people's person, Dan. I celebrate everything. I love everybody.
Okay, listen. Can we just say this? Next year, Bobby can do the show.
Of course.
Okay. So, Bobby, mark it in your calendar that when we do 2021 year in review, you can come on, and maybe we'll cut down Modi's character a little.
So God.
Don't worry. We edited it already.
When I went through the list of comics that are on it before me, it made me angrier.
I thought you were on vacation. I swear to God, I go, where the fuck is Bobby? But who am I to bring it up? I'm just a guest. I don't go to a party and go, how come this person's not there? I'm just happy I was invited. You know what I mean? If he's...
All right, so Bobby, prove that you're not mad and come in the show Sunday.
Okay, Sunday?
Yeah, Sunday,
this
1
Sunday?
p.m. This Sunday, 1 p.m.
What's on Sunday? Is it the Mint Show? Oh, the Mint Show is...
No, it's a Live American thing.
Oh, okay.
I will definitely...
I will give you an official apology on the air.
I will definitely. I have a birthday party to go to on Sunday, but I think they're changing it to Saturday.
Okay.
If they change it to Saturday, I'll definitely come on.
Okay. But listen, everything
party,
that he did and all that, this is all like show thing. Like personally,
yes,
nothing can ever change how I feel about you.
Buddy, listen, I'm part of the Comedy Cellar family, like you.
Seriously,
I just wish I was on the Comedy Cellar year in review.
Yeah,
and that's my fault. That is my fault.
No.
And I'm sorry for not saying Merry Christmas on Christmas.
If that's your wish, I wouldn't waste my fucking wish about a podcast. I wish
Rich,
I was.
You were amazing yesterday. Seriously.
Thank you.
The three of you together was like.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Dan, what do you want to say, Dan?
No, I thought you wanted to talk about Borat, the latest Borat.
Yeah, I mean, right before we went on, we were talking a little bit about it, and I was surprised there was a kind of a negative reaction about it. What do you think about it?
Well, because you had one of the writers on, and I'm not saying the writer. Yeah, I was going to bring up her name, but no, because I don't know her. I don't know her.
Just because she might be able to help you in the future.
No, listen to me. Fucking no one can help me now. The head of Netflix can't help me. All right. Here's the thing. No one, everybody. And it's like even when I listen to Stern will have somebody on about a movie that's unwatchable. And no one ever does a little criticizing. They don't have to say, hey, this sucks or this and that. But they can say, why was it all dick jokes? Or why was it this? Why, you know what I mean? Without making the person feel bad or seem like they're incompetent. Does that make sense? Because I think
difficult balancing act to do that.
That's a hard thing to do when you're promoting a show your only job as the person like Stern or whoever you radio show, you cannot fucking diss that movie. You have to just either let them talk or say you loved it because you're promoting it, or you won't get the next person.
Yeah, that's true. But then a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, then they start trashing the movie. Whatever. I've heard it a million times. Where anyhow, whatever. I'm not. There was probably 10, 20 writers on that movie.
Well, we had an
So-
additional problem that threw us back on our heels that she didn't warn us. She had signed an NDA where she wasn't allowed to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
She didn't tell us that until we got on the air.
The nuts and bolts. Quite frankly, I didn't have any criticism. I thought it was funny.
It was.
You like Borat too?
Yeah, I liked Borat too, but I also liked Porky's too, and everybody said it was terrible because I was a kid then. But I did like Borat too.
Listen. I never would want to badmouth a comic or say because it's not that person's fault.
But
No. There's probably 10 writers on it. There's directors. But it was unwatchable in my opinion. Just my opinion.
My problem with it, if I had a problem, and I don't even know if I had a problem because Jenna wasn't allowed to discuss whether or not, like, I don't like when people think that they're going to be part of something fun and then they end up being made to look like idiots or being made uncomfortable. So that scene where like the at the ball where she's like showing the period blood. I mean, if they were just there for a nice evening and the next thing they know they're being shown period blood, that to me is a little
come on. That was the best
if
part.
that's what it was. If that's what it was. Now,
That's the only part that got me hard.
But if that's what it was. Now, it might have been that they knew that they were in for something like that. But Jenna didn't want to discuss that. But I did think it was a funny movie.
No.
I think the only part of that movie that was hard for me is that I already knew. It's like knowing a magic trick.
Yeah.
I couldn't suspend because the first one I knew it was fake, but you didn't know where and what. On the second one, you could figure it out easier, so I couldn't get into the movie as much as I did the first one. I knew the daughter's fake. The first one, I didn't know if that was a real hooker. I didn't know she was an actress. I didn't know all those. His buddy was an actor. I thought they might have been real. On this one, I knew everybody was fake involved on that side of it.
We all knew it was fake, though. I mean, even in the first one, if we had watched the HBO show. If you were a fan of the HBO show, you knew that it was.
But I didn't know that hooker, like the comedian, was that. What's her name? I forget her name. She's a comedian.
Lunel.
I didn't know she was I thought she was a real hooker, dude.
No. Listen, you don't want to go on and just trash. Like I said, I didn't think it was great. There's great I mean, look, that movie I told you to watch with what's her name, with the guy that passed away. Now I can't think of it. Mo. It's about the black jazz singer. It was fucking great.
So what level of honesty should we have with our guest projects? And then we're going to talk about My Wife Hates Me.
No. Listen, I've been on projects that I know stink. Whatever. We did a pilot, Bonnie and I watched it and I wanted to hit her. That's how bad it was. I knew it was bad. All right. So I don't know. It's just that you see these movies being made with all this money and whatever. And then yet they're not giving us the money to make a movie.
Is it about you?
No.
Is that what this is about?
No, not at all. I'm sick of watching bullshit. TV shows are great. There's great shows. But all the budgets that go into these movies, the high budgets, and you're watching 2 hours of dick jokes,
But they still make money somehow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with Dan. I did like Porky's too. I like all of Adam Sandler's movies, no matter what he does. I love it. I love the silliness of it. This one was just a little harder because of the gimmick. There's a gimmick that was hard to, like when he did Bruno. There was a gimmick. Once he did Borat, he fucked up the gimmick to go to the next movie. You know what I mean? It's like once you know who the impractical jokers are, they can't be outside fucking around because they're like, oh, you're those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a harder gig.
Borat was great. Everybody fucking, it was a great.
I like
Borat.
Bruno too.
I thought the period
right.
part. I thought the period part was amazing. And anybody who's going,
it was funny. My only concern, not concern, but my only issue is if those people that were just going out for a nice
Yeah,
evening.
I know what he's saying. Dan
They
is
weren't
saying
going out for a
Next thing you
nice
know-
evening. They were going to a
Well, I
Depp.
know that because I don't know how it was set
no,
up.
it was a daughter. It was a
Yeah,
father-daughter night.
You know, it's a
And
debut.
can I say something?
Yeah.
As you know, I don't have a daughter, but if I was taking my daughter to father-daughter night, I'd be very excited to be with my daughter. We get dressed. Oh, we're gonna dance, and then all of a sudden you're seeing just a bloody vag on some chick. That might. I know what Dan's saying, but as a comic, I would hopefully my daughter and me would be laughing our asses off on the way home while we got some spaghetti.
At least that's one girl you don't hit on. I don't. I look at just watch the movie I told you to watch, Bob. You want to see a great movie?
I don't know.
It's about the black female jazz singer. Have you seen it, Noam? Who's the guy with Chadwick Boseman? What's his name?
No, do you watch?
Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah,
Boseman?
I promise.
Black Panther.
No, the new movie Mob.
No, that's the guy. That's the guy who plays Black
That's
Panther.
the guy from Black Panther.
Yes.
You asked, not the real
Yes.
Black Panthers.
Yes, I know. He's getting. Yeah, that was Eldridge Cleaver.
Very good.
It's
What's Hey, Noam, do you watch movies? You don't strike me as somebody that could sit down and turn a movie on and watch it and be the whole thing through without getting up and doing 9 different things.
Yeah, I used to watch movies, but now that the TV is so dominated by my kids, it's very hard to get time. 2
You
hours.
don't have
straight.
a TV that you can. I mean, I assume you
No.
a second.
They want to be wherever I am. It doesn't matter.
I agree. My TV's dominated now too for some reason.
Mob.
And then Juanita watches a stupid like forensic. She fancies herself an undiscovered crime fighter.
Which the name of that movie is?
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. If Chadwick, whatever his name is, doesn't win an Oscar,
Black Panther.
He's dead.
Of course,
He's
he's gonna
gonna
win.
know-
He died. He's got to win.
He's going
Okay.
to. He could win a posthumous.
Yeah, they always give it to the guy who dies.
he was amazing. I mean, it was no Borat, but he was amazing.
Are Netflix movies eligible for Oscars?
If
Yeah.
they play to be eligible for an Oscar, you have to play in a theater in New York and L.A. That's it, 2 theaters. So they just run it in New York and run it in L.A. and then you can be eligible.
Do you think after all this is over, the movie business, the movie theater business, is coming back with at all, or with an equal level, or?
Oh.
I mean,
I think it's gonna get worse for the movie business as this technology starts because, I mean, believe it or not, a lot of people are watching VR movies.
And Warner
And
Brothers.
they're going to the movie theaters with their VR headset. You literally you go into a theater with your friends and watch a movie that's playing now, like you're in a theater.
And didn't Warner Brothers just sign a big deal that HBO Max gets all their movies at the same time? So, you know, why, if you and your family can watch it on HBO Max at home instead of going to a theater.
there is something fun about going to the theater, and even the smell of the popcorn and just the kind of experience, the group experience.
I mean, it's really not. I mean, except for Alamo. Alamo is, I love going to Alamo. Number one, the food is amazing.
The theater,
The
Alamo.
system, Alamo, the system, you put the little card up. If you talk, you get kicked out. You can rat people out who are talking with a note instead of having to go get somebody so they don't know it's you.
I think it's a good experience for the kids.
The kids are great, yeah. But regular, like movie theaters, like they tried to do the iPick, but near me and Noam, but you go in and it's literally a reclining bed. Every movie I went to, 10 minutes in, I'm fucking sleeping.
Movie theaters are going to have to step up their game, I guess, and make it sort of a different experience. You know?
Yeah.
That's the same with comedy clubs or any indoor event, you're saying. You know, any indoor event, people have to ease their way back into it and feel safe.
No, that's not what we're saying. That's not exactly.
But the
It
difference
has
is
nothing to do with what we're saying.
Technology can replace movie.
Oh.
We're
Technology
talking
can
about
replace-
technology,
Oh.
not.
No, he said you think people will go back into the theater.
Well, no, I meant that with the
Oh.
technology, now that we're all used to staying at home and watching everything on Netflix, will people just continue to do that?
Oh, okay. I can
think
see
so.
why Hatem doesn't like you, Bobby. Because
Well, I don't know who Hatem is,
yeah.
but
Hatem.
Hatem, me and Hatem,
Listen,
me and
it doesn't
Hatem.
matter how I say his name. I was already on the podcast.
That's
All
true.
right? It
That's
doesn't-
true. And
Yeah,
I might say
that's
the
what
rating
really
at that
bothered me.
moment was very high, Rich.
I
What's
think
that? Hatem, sorry.
I think that the technology, I think movies were already waning. I had stopped going to movies. I found that I preferred to stay home and watch them. And your screen gets bigger and it's just easier, you know. But I don't think they're going away completely. I think for young people who want to go out on dates and stuff and want to get a hand job, you know, it's going on a date.
A hand job.
That was one of the best things about going to movies when you're, no?
No,
You got a hand job in a movie theater next to other people?
Yeah, I go with my kids.
Well, you go to a movie that nobody else is at, you know, and
I'm not gonna stick my dick through a box of
Or
popcorn.
making out in the movies.
What
Making out in the movies.
Making out, yeah. Making out is better.
What about
it's-
Star
yeah.
Wars? There's a comedy style family goes to every Star Wars.
I haven't
I
seen
didn't-
one.
That the overwhelming majority of movies I've gone to in my life have been dates.
Yeah.
And people will still want to go on dates, I think. But other than that, I don't really see the advantage of seeing it.
I'll tell you, I used to go to the movies to avoid my roommate back when I had a roommate, and I would just go to the theater and then like see one movie for whatever the money was, and then go into the other theater after the movie was over, just because I didn't want to be with my roommate.
The best movie I went on a date on, just a
You know,
feel-good
like-
movie, was Chandler's List. It was a great movie for a date.
You
I'll
thought
tell
it was
you-
a comedy.
I was very happy.
I used to love going to the movies until I ran out of
Did
quarters.
he just make a Schindler's List joke?
Yes. Yeah.
I just, oh my God.
Hey, to be fair to the board, whatever that movie was, I didn't like Wonder Woman either. And that was-
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I didn't
2.
like that either.
Wonder Woman 1 was
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Wonder
yeah,
Woman 2,
Yeah.
it was garbage.
Yeah. So, and that was a fucking how high was that budget? So again, it's not
It was
just.
just,
one
I mean, literally just jamming it down your face. This political correctness, social justice, sexism.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a superhero movie made for guys who read comic books, you fucking
do you
assholes.
think
And
it
they
is
just took
on it?
full advantage of it and made it into some horse shit.
Can I
Man,
ask
my daughter, my 9-year-old daughter is like totally target audience for this thing. And when we went to fly, Mila goes, now she flies?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
come on.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Oh, she
That's what I
flies
wanna
in
know.
an
You
invisible-
can't let
Come on.
somebody direct a fucking comic book movie who doesn't like comic books.
Yeah.
That's why Jon Favreau is murdering it on everything he directs, Iron Man, Star Wars, because he loves the genre. He knows the backstory. He loves it. You can't just bring a woman director in just because she's a woman. You have to bring a woman director in who loves the genre of comic books
Well, that's
and
any
understands
director.
how to make a movie like
I'm
that.
sure
That's
Periel
any-
disagrees.
Well, I don't know that women are big into comic books as a general matter.
No, women aren't into comic books, but women are into comic book heroes. They love Black Widow. They love The Witch. They love Wonder Woman. They love the fact that, you know, that Wonder Woman 1 was an awesome movie for not just women, for everybody who watched it. Black, white, gay, straight, dick, no dick. Everybody loved that movie. That's what you should be making every time you make a movie. You shouldn't be making a movie to just have one set of group of people like it.
Well, actually, you can make a movie like that if you want to have
Yes.
a target audience. And
Yeah, if you want to have a target, if you want it to be a bomb.
well, if a group of people that's targeted, but like Woody Allen, most people
Yeah.
hate Woody Allen. The average
No.
person in America doesn't like
Yeah, but
Woody
we're not talking about that genre. We're talking about comic book movies.
Yes.
We're talking about these type of movies are for everybody.
And also, too, Woody Allen movies, the budgets are not
Yeah.
astronomical. Like
But
a
Black
Wonder Woman.
Panther was made for black people, but everybody loved it because they made a great movie for everybody.
It was a good movie.
There's
I mean,
great movie.
there's one more thing is like I'm with you. Like it should be a comic book fans. It's made for them. But internationally, like a lot of the international countries which make a lot of money are not comic book fans, you know, but they want action. So they want the Hollywood, they want the American.
Yeah.
That was something was missing as well from Wonder Woman 2.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess we'll see. Ultimately, we'll see if the movie. If you guys didn't like it, but it might well be that people do like it. And
Yeah, they know it's a bomb. It's a fucking flop.
And also too, it's
well, that's a good
you
movie
can
to go
see
and
it-
get a hand job in if nobody's going.
I mean, you can see it free on HBO Max.
Yeah, but
so-
they did the same thing with Thor too.
Yeah.
Thor 1 was good, 2 or 3 sucked, and they just went back and went, all right, we got to refigure this. They got a director who knew what he was doing, and he made Thor Ragnarok, which is probably one of the best movies that they made in that whole Marvel thing is Thor Ragnarok. I'm sure they can go back to Wonder Woman and remake it with a different director and knock it out of the park.
Yeah, but it's going to be tough to get that confidence back.
Not really, because the first one was so good, and everybody loves Gal Gadot. She's awesome in the part. She's fucking Wonder Woman.
I should have never.
I mean,
broke
she
up
really
with
is.
her.
Good dot.
What?
I should have never broke up with her.
When did you meet her? Were you babysitting her?
The Israeli army.
Is she Israeli?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was in the army. She's very Israeli, actually.
Oh,
What does that
Yeah.
mean? What does that mean? Very
She
Israeli.
has some comments that not very good. That's why I didn't watch Wonder Woman 2.
oh.
But I did watch Wonder Woman
Oh, she
1.
said some negative things about the Arabic people.
Yeah.
What, she didn't like-
What did she say?
I mean, she know her movie won't play in the Middle East anyway because she's not wearing, you know. But
She didn't like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
no, she was in the Israeli army. And she,
Hey, is there an Arab superhero?
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden.
oh shit, no, it's not a hero. Damn.
Osama bin Laden.
We should have an Arabic superhero.
Yeah, there should be an
Yes.
Arabic superhero. I mean, they have one. I think Ant-Man is Jewish.
The Hebrew Hammer is Jewish.
Oh,
I mean, he's not a
Ant-Man.
mainstream superhero, but
Why,
I never
why is
even
Ant-Man
heard of
Jewish?
him.
well, he's a very niche hero. He was played by what's that guy's name? Adam Goldberg.
Is Paul Rudd
No.
Jewish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he's Jewish.
And Gal Gadot's Jewish.
Gal
Scarlett,
Gadot's Jewish.
Pronounced
Yes.
Good dot. Good dot.
Gal Gadot. Scarlett Johansson's Jewish.
Yes.
Did they ever get
What are you
married?
getting at, Noam? We are fuckable after all.
No, we're pretty well represented in a genre
yeah.
you wouldn't expect.
Well, Scarlett Johansson's got a Swedish, half Swedish.
Did
Which-
she ever
which
get
half?
married? Did they ever get married?
Scarlett and Colin Jost.
Yeah.
I believe they're married. I think so.
Oh, no wonder he doesn't return my calls.
All right, I think we're about out of time.
They have
Oh.
a bunch of superheroes. They have the Supermensch, Vonda Vamoon, Spider Macha, the Julk, which is the
They have
Jewish Hulk.
Spider Mafia.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then they have Iron Ann and Batmanowitz. And they have they have Wolverstein. You have a lot of superheroes.
No, you'll love that movie about jazz. I'm telling
Oh,
you.
will you stop bringing it up just because
I
no
love
one's a
it.
fuck-
I mean, I don't
I know,
like-
but just
I hate jazz, but I mean, maybe the movie's good.
You'll love it.
Also, there's a whole contingent of people that find all superhero movies just entirely unwatchable.
Yes.
yeah, my friend Joe is like
I
that. He
don't-
cannot
I don't
suspend
like it.
reality.
Can,
Yeah.
can I share something?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at her.
Look at her. What is it? Oh, she's so pretty.
Oh,
Can you read this anti-Arab racism? Not just pretty. She is
What did she
hot, though.
say?
uh,
Depends on what she said.
Critics
hot.
slam Wonder Woman 1984 for anti-Arab racism.
what'd she say? I don't like falafel.
No, but they're slamming the movie, not her. What was
Not
anti-Arab
her.
about the movie?
Well, I
They
mean,
s-
there's a lot of things that she said, but you're out of time, so I.
No, but we
she
should-
didn't win your time.
1 second.
In the movie, one of the I said Arab princes wishes for something, I believe he wants his people. Basically, it puts a wall up between. I believe it puts a wall up between the Jewish people or something like that, or they
Old
cuts the
Egypt
people off.
and New Egypt.
Yeah, yeah. So he puts a wall up, old Egypt, and she breaks it down or some shit like that.
Yeah, but she saved those little Arab kids from getting run over.
She did.
I mean,
She
she
did
didn't
save-
want to do
she
that
saved-
scene.
She she saved two. She actually didn't do it. They had a stunt double do it. But
It was something else in that movie. I just remembered, and you know, I know people are gonna roll their eyes when I said, but it did strike me. She said, I guess it's Kristen Wiig says, you know, why do I talk with this annoying white woman's voice? You remember that scene?
This is Wonder Woman 84.
Was that the movie, right? Was
Yeah.
it one?
it had a lot of that stuff in there with.
And it was like a little Karen joke, and it was gratuitous. Like, I mean, I couldn't care less.
No,
but I
right,
was like,
right here on Instagram, after she met with Netanyahu, she said, "Dear God, there are also Arab citizens in this country," and she put like a. She had a few comments like that on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm gonna have to look this up, and then we can talk about
Wait,
it.
but that was her
They
supporting.
were like,
Wait, I thought that was her supporting the Israeli Arabs and going against what Netanyahu said.
I don't think
It's
so.
hard to believe that a Hollywood actress is anything other than very, very
Politically correct.
especially one who sends around videos of herself singing "Imagine There's No Countries."
When you're hot, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Not for me.
But there was also, I mean, if you really want to get down to it, the one villain in the movie was a white guy in a park in a suit who was drunk, who got up and was like, "Hey, come here, let me see," and he started grabbing her. "What are you fighting me for?" And it's like, really, is that? And he did it twice. She beat him up, and then he did it again, like he didn't learn his fucking lesson. He just came back and tried to sexually assault her. And it's some drunk white guy in a suit, which is like, really?
Yeah.
Really? 1984, that's who was really stalking people in the park?
There was.
Hold on. Let me say one thing. So I found it. So there was a scene there where Diana, blah, blah, and she says, but my voice isn't normally like this, but I take on that of a middle-aged white woman because it's more annoying. And I thought to myself, like, this is aimed at kids. Like, why are they aiming racial jokes about how annoying white women are at young children?
They probably paid like a $50,000 to a script doctor to insert like yucks into the script, you know, like
they do. Yeah.
But isn't there just something wrong? I mean, I'm not going to say it's equivalent, but obviously, if there was a joke like that about any other ethnic group, people would be up in arms about it. And I understand there's a little more latitude to make fun of white people, but do we really want kids thinking that way? Is that I just don't like it.
Yeah, but you also ruin the movie for people because as you're watching it, you're like, what the fuck? You got to you watch a movie to escape and have fun and to live in this fantasy world where everybody supposedly gets along, and then you're getting whacked in the face with, you know, whatever race you are, whatever you are, gender you are, every couple minutes with their political correct social justice
I gotta
shit.
tell you something. I'm so embarrassed. It wasn't Wonder Woman. It was the movie Soul. It's even worse.
Oh, yeah.
It was this new cartoon, Soul. Have you seen it?
Yes.
No.
I saw it with my kid.
It's a kid's cartoon, and
Yes.
that's what
Actually, correction. Periel was right. That comment was against Netanyahu. I just
we assumed she was right. So
We did?
about that, yeah. But I can't believe I saw both those movies on the same day. There was similar lines, political correct lines in Wonder Woman, but yeah, this movie Soul, this new Disney cartoon, just taking shots at white people for kids, for little children.
Has anybody seen the Netflix series? It's very popular. Bridgerton. It's called Bridgerton. It's about.
Oh, we started it the other night.
It's what it is. It takes place in England, like in the Jane Austen era, like 1815. But half the characters are black. So people are like, well, why are you putting black characters into a Regency era England, comedy of manners or whatever the fuck, Jane Austen type thing. And they said, well, this way everybody gets to enjoy it and relate to the characters. and just enjoy the story and everybody can enjoy it. I mean, which I guess is okay.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit about that.
I said that to my wife.
But-
The queen
Yeah.
was not black, and my wife's going, "It's fantasy. It doesn't matter." And I get what Naturman is saying, because we started watching it the other night. I go, "This isn't accurate."
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in history, like
Yeah.
Cleopatra, they wanted Beyonce to play her, and Cleopatra is actually Greek. You know, she's white. You know, and that's that's just history.
Well, look at they're remaking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles
Yeah.
with whatever. You know what? You can't fight
Say
it.
it.
Just-
Say
what?
it. Say it.
But they're making. Look, they try to remake The Odd Couple. You can't take a classic and remake it, even with. Look, Godfather 3 was unwatchable compared to Godfather 1 and 2. Godfather 3.
They fixed it. They fixed it.
How? What? 40 years later.
I swear to God, they fixed it. The coda. They went back in. They got permission from Paramount to go re-edit it the way they wanted to do it.
You watched it,
And
Robert?
I watched it, and it's less hurrah, and it's more, and the story flows better. It's a way better story now.
The hoorah by God in Godfather 3 was I forgot, was like Pacino already in that mode.
Yeah, already.
Yeah.
First
but
of all, you can't replace Robert Duvall with George Hamilton.
But they fixed it. They fixed it.
Oh,
they did. They made a
How
much
long is
better
it now?
movie.
How long
It's
is
the
it?
same. It's the same length. They just made a much better movie by switching a couple things around and editing things. It actually gets a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes compared to the original one that got 63 tomatoes.
That's just
So it is a better movie. I watched it. I liked it.
Okay. Well, I'm just.
I mean, nothing. You understand? Godfather 2 was one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes.
Just for what it was. I mean, it was 2 movies in one. It went back. It was amazing. To follow that, it's just gonna be a hard gig.
Well, don't follow it.
Huh?
Don't let it go.
Or get a great
Nah.
actress, you know.
You really can't.
Don't
The thing is,
remake.
Godfather 3 was this close because the plot with the Vatican and all this stuff, it was actually okay. Like they were onto something.
No, watch it. I want you to watch it and tell me what you think. I thought they did a great job with re-editing it. The story makes sense now.
What's it on?
It flows.
But there are some problems which I'm going to predict are not fixable. One is Coppola's daughter, Sophia. She's a terrible actress.
They fixed it. They fixed her.
And number 2, Al Pacino, as you said, he seemed like the dude from Scent of a Woman.
Yeah.
He did not seem like Michael from Godfather 1 and 2.
And you would never
They
think
cut-
you would
they cut-
forgive Diane Keaton for having an abortion. You would, he was a mobster. That he didn't just go from mobster to fucking, you know what I mean, Mr. Nice Guy. That was huh?
I'm telling you, they did a good job. They fixed.
All right. Well,
They did somehow. I don't know if they re-edited the shit. You know, they keep pulling me back in. That wasn't so much this time for some reason. I don't know if they put another version of it in, but they went back in and redid the whole movie, and it really.
Okay.
Maybe,
That's what I'm saying.
maybe you can re-edit your hour special, Rich. I'm kidding.
I didn't. Whoa! Look at that. I've been nothing but nice to Noam. And
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
no, I know. I guess
I didn't want to say it to Robert because he's so sensitive. So I said
I,
it.
I'm
doesn't
not,
bother me.
I'm not sensitive, you motherfucker. Why would you call me sensitive? No, I'm just.
Jesus.
I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Bobby, where can we see The Godfather 3, the remake? What's it
Amazon.
on?
On demand.
Oh, well, listen, like I said, when you take a classic, leave it. Don't try to remake it. You can't.
Well, that's the problem with when you're talking trains, planes, automobile. The reason why, as soon as you say you're remaking it, and we're remaking it with a whole black cast, you're like, but the movie's perfect the way it is. You want to just say, go make a movie with those 3 people or those 2 people. That's funny, original. Like,
And
you know,
listen,
but you're
like Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy made all Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Coming to America.
Yeah.
These are Coming to America is a black movie, but everybody loved it because it was just at its fucking core a funny, good movie
And they're
that you
doing
can watch over and over again.
They're doing a sequel with the same cast plus
Right.
more.
But you're thinking like an artist and not like somebody who's all they're trying to do is make money. They would happily just have 90 minutes of blank screen if they could get away with it.
But you're not going to make money that way.
Yeah.
You're not going to make money recreating shit.
It's the quick fix.
Well, they think they
what are some good remakes? Have there been any good remakes?
No bad
Mutiny on the
remakes.
Bounty. Mutiny on the Bounty was remade pretty
Yeah,
well.
I think Papillon was a semi-good remake where they had the guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah,
was
that was a
one
good
I
of
didn't
one.
the-
see that. They remade the Steve McQueen movie.
Yeah, they remade it.
Yeah,
it
that
good.
was
love that
pretty
movie.
good, and that was a major classic. With
Yeah, the
two
guy
great
the guy from iRobot played
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman's role.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
really good.
I gotta see that.
Homeland is a remake. I think Homeland is great. Remake of an
What?
Israeli show.
Yeah, but what
TV
comedy? What comedy did they remake and it worked?
Well, did it work financially or work comedically?
Financially.
Or comedically.
No, comedically.
Both.
Look at Ghostbusters. Didn't do well.
But the new one that's coming out will. The new one that's coming out with the original cast, I guarantee will do well.
And like you said, if they're trying to make Planes, Trains, and Automobile, if they did it with white people, it still would
You know what?
stink.
According to Wikipedia, Ghostbusters the remake 2016 had a budget of 144 million and a box office of 229.1 million. That seems like a reasonable.
Yeah, but I actually like the
I
movie.
didn't-
I like the movie, but a lot of people didn't like the movie because it was more Ghostbusters 1 compared to Ghostbusters 2. Ghostbusters 2 sucked. It was just a different type of movie.
I can make $80 million with a remake. I don't give a good goddamn if it's good, funny, or otherwise. And
Well, you do because you want to make because you want people to say that was a great movie because then you can make 3 and make another one. They're not going to make another Ghostbusters now
I'll tell you-
because of the reviews.
Wait, what the movie stunk with what was the movie with the two guys?
Point Break.
No, Jeff Daniels and
Dumb and
Dumb and Dumber. That remake,
Sucked.
and it was with white people,
That was
it
horrible.
just stunk. It stunk,
Yeah.
and whatever. I don't know. And it's also too, the generation now has not seen the classics, so they maybe are targeting a whole new audience.
Yeah, but the classics still fucking hold up. They still do. I mean, Trading Places, Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters 1, Trains, Planes, Automobile. Anytime those, even the original Vacation, all
Yeah.
that shit, I mean, still holds up. A Christmas Story still holds up.
My Cousin Vinny, all of them.
Yeah, all that shit holds up. So instead of remaking something that already was a hit, you're not finding the next script that's going to be awesome.
The Karate Kid 2010 remake on a budget of, according to Wikipedia, on a budget of 40 million, made 359 million. So
Yeah,
It's money. Listen. There's comics that you respect. There's comics you don't. Some make a fortune that are great.
some get
some
invited
aren't.
on podcasts.
We'll talk about good.
I don't think we're talking about box office here, Dan.
Yes, we're talking
Oh,
about.
but of course we are, because that's why producers make these movies.
No, that's not true, man. Producer, you gotta understand when you make one movie, you want to be able to make another one.
But if you make that kind of money, you will make another.
A director would love to win an award.
Yeah.
I think a good director is not about money. It's about
But that's
Can
that's
they
the
remake a movie like
director, though.
Airplane?
The producer, the guy that's fronting the money.
You'd never be able to make Airplane. You can't make Airplane.
days,
You
you can
can't
never
make
make-
Blazing Saddle. You'll
Yeah.
get fucking fried.
Yeah.
yes.
I was watching Blazing Saddle in my house the other day, the unedited, and I shut it off. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God.
Even
This
Tropical Thunder now is people like saying,
Oh.
"Oh, you can't make it now." It's like it's
No, you can never make it now.
Oh, you know what was
Nope.
the worst? You ever see the remake of the Bad News Bears?
Oh, fucking
Oh,
terrible.
Well, they took out all the good jokes.
Oh my God.
But you try watching that now, and you feel like you really have to turn it off. The jokes, I mean, the N word.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
You can't, I mean, let's face it, comedies as we know it, I mean, even Stripes, remember Stripes when he just grabbed 3 women and ripped their shirts off in a mud pit? That's sexual assault now.
It was then too, Robert, but it was
No.
Remember the end of what was that movie? 16 Candles, where Anthony Michael Hall drives home the drunk girl, and she's passed out drunk, and he has sex with her.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely. Well, think about. Can I just say something really quick?
Do that anymore.
If you think about Wonder Woman, I want you to think about this. The new Wonder Woman. I'm going to spoil alert. Anybody who hasn't seen it, just shut this off right now. The way they bring the guy she loves back.
Yeah.
He comes back in another man's body. So basically, she's using this other guy's body to bang. Okay, so she can have sex with the guy from World War II.
Yeah, but
World War I, whatever. So basically, imagine that if that was reversed. If that was a guy, and he was just some chick just filled her body with and just banging some chick who had a life, was living, and then all of a sudden Superman's just fucking the shit out of this chick because his love of his life is in her body.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird,
when
right?
I have sex with my wife, I always think she's another chick. What are you talking about? Sometimes I think she's Bobby, and I'll invite her. Listen,
if you don't think Bonnie's not closing her eyes tightly, well, you're on top of her. You're out of your mind.
She's thinking of some nerd from L.A.
But you know what I'm saying? Does that make
Yes.
sense? Like she's fucking some guy, against his will.
What do you mean against his will? Oh, well, yeah, his body was taken over against his will. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
That part I didn't understand.
The movie,
I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was him and I woke up and I was banging Gal Gadot, I'd be like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Instead of my wife's, Filipino boy ass.
My wife's ass. I'm waiting for Puerto Ricans to play handball off it. Prison. Fucking
you can get your wife's ass and my wife's ass and make fucking fajita shells.
Yeah, you can make a driveway.
This is not appropriate, guys.
What?
Yeah, whatever. We're talking about our wives.
Yeah. Old. Fucking.
If I said something like that about my wife's Puerto Rican, I never said that about her ass. But if I said something like that about my wife, there's just no way I'd survive it.
Yeah, because you married a Puerto Rican.
Yes.
I married a fucking lazy Polak from Everett. She doesn't care.
I married the meanest female comic in the business.
Yeah.
Are you guys having trouble in your marriage, Robert? It sounds like you're.
No, I'm having I'm at the best right now. It's the best my family's ever been. We're having a great time, except financially. I wake up in the middle of the night like this. And then I have to go sleep on the couch because I fucking have to talk myself down. But
I know
yeah.
it's. I'm sorry.
Like that.
No, I mean, what I think from yesterday. I think you should open a comedy cellar in Aruba just to piss off what's his name.
Yeah, let me
would
run
be a
it.
good idea.
I'll run it.
There you go.
I don't think I want to open another comedy cellar, but I don't know. Anyway.
Oh boy, that really was a fucking depressing ending.
All right, well there you go.
We were so close to opening another one, and I was kind of into it, and then it all went up, And
but you open in a new clientele, like on different weather and different,
You were going to open in New York another one, right?
Yeah, we're gonna open another one, a big one. We're gonna open a big one in New York. We stopped. Thank God.
Last night we were talking with Andrew Jarecki about doing more virtual stuff and maybe doing a Patreon where we have.
I mean, listen, Jarecki is such a smart guy that if he tells me something is worth taking a closer look at, then I have to consider it because he's Andrew Jarecki. But
Fuck
but
is
I
Andy Jarecki?
Is that the guy that runs Stand Up New York? He owns
Yeah.
Stand Up.
that's
No,
James.
no.
he's the guy who did Movie Phone, and then he directed
He-
Bumping Mics. He directed The Jinx. He's
Bumping mics.
He's an Oscar winner.
He directed or produced and directed Capturing the Freedmans, which is an old documentary.
Oh,
but it
yeah,
was-
And,
He
And
won
he,
an Oscar.
and he was the founder of Movie Phone.
wait,
So
he also did Bumping Kikes?
but he's also
Mike-
he's also he's also
Hey,
a
let me and
super
Hatem
guy.
and Rich laugh.
Finished. He's also a super smart guy. I've known him, I know him through another channel. He was roommates with one of my really close friends, and in college. And he
You
seems
guys
to
remember
think
the days when you didn't get laid?
he seems to think, you know what, the story is.
Hey
not,
guys, what do you want to do tonight? Let's get French
story-
fries.
The payoff on this story is not worth all the other opportunities.
What do you want to do tomorrow? Let's get some pizzas. What do you want to do Friday and Saturday? Let's get French fried pizzas and ice cream.
We'll go to the movies, but I'm not going to fall for that popcorn thing again.
There's too many fastballs over the plate for me to finish.
All right.
By the way, outside Steve is here. You want to say hello?
he doesn't prefer that.
He doesn't like that. Yeah, where is he?
That's why.
How do we not?
Hi guys,
There he is. Hi, Steve. How you doing, Steve?
I'm holding up.
He
Yeah,
lives
where are
outside
you
your house.
holding up?
I'm inside now for
Where?
in Noam's house. I've been here for-
Is he living with you, Steve? Noam?
Been here for a month.
Are you kidding me? You haven't let me.
3.5 weeks.
Let me and the Kellys move in.
Listen, I told you got to get a test, and then you got to. We want you to come over. You got to get a test. That's all. You got to get tested. You got to sit. You got to stay home for a week. This is the rule in our house. You got to
Oh, my
quarantine for a
God.
week and take a test.
My God, my wife went over to drop off cookies. I go, how they doing? She goes, I don't know. They wouldn't let me in. What the fuck?
Hey, hot
you're
tea.
going on the
Dropped
road.
off. She had presents and cookies, and she went over there like, yeah, they made me stand in the hallway. I couldn't go in. I'm
know
like,
it's
not
hard.
go in.
But you're on the road. Listen.
Hey, you took the cookies.
You had antibodies, right?
I got antibodies.
What
yeah.
does that mean? That means at some point you had COVID and we didn't know. And if we had socialized with you, we could have gotten it. That's what that means.
Yeah, but you don't socialize with me even if there wasn't a pandemic.
But I
Maybe take a good look at yourself, Bobby.
now I have an excuse.
Since the beginning of the pandemic in March, have you revised your thinking in terms of the risk of your family? Like at the beginning, we thought getting COVID was really, really a bigger risk than I think we now think it is for people our age.
Look, I know people
I
who
think
got
it's a
it,
big risk.
and the people. Here's the problem: the people I know who got it now, because I didn't know a lot of people who got it for a long time, but now I know people who got it. Giannis Pappas, Colin, a couple of my friends, and when you get it, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I mean,
And
I
that's
stayed
what
in the
they tell
hospital
me.
50 days for that.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you guys. I mean, so
He's
do you
talking about
want to
his
get it?
friends,
No.
not Tim. He's talking about his friends who had it. Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, friends.
Oh,
okay.
and hot
See, you
Tim.
didn't mention me in friends. Thank you, Noam.
Go ahead.
Thank
Go ahead,
you.
Ron.
I don't even mention your friends with COVID.
Hot
I
Tim,
was
I just
super sick for
And
a
I was
month
the
and a
first one to
half.
have COVID.
The people that I know have it. I mean, it varies. Some people kind of sailed through it without being too bad. Some people it was pretty bad. And they can't figure. I don't think they can figure out why some people wind up like.
No, but in the beginning, that we don't have enough information. I remember when I first had it in March, my doctors and nurses were crying because when you had it back then, it was over. You know what I'm saying? It was, but now they have more information.
Yeah, they
But
know how to
honestly, guys,
treat it.
today-
now.
Huh?
Are you?
They know how to treat it now.
Yeah.
We also know what if somebody has this,
Yeah.
what to do. If somebody has
Exactly.
these symptoms, we know what to do now. So
Exactly.
they
But
know how to
isn't there
treat it.
also a new strain now that's supposed to be much.
Yes, they just
They
they
find
in
the first
Colorado.
case day.
Supposed to
In
be more
the US.
contagious, but less deadly. I heard Scott Adams say today.
Maybe
But
no more deadly. It's certainly no.
No,
more.
it says less deadly, but more, can more contagious, 70% more.
Bobby,
And the
were
first
you
case was
really
today.
sick when you had it?
The first time, yes, very.
wait,
And
you had him more than once.
When I had it, it was
Yeah.
I had the chills for like 2 nights, and that was it.
No,
That's
but
it.
I had the Remdesivir. I was in the
Remdesivir.
tryouts when it first came out. So that made me feel okay for 10 days, but after that, it was boom. But that saved my life, that one.
I was
For sure.
super sick for a month and a half.
Holy Jesus, I'm
You
getting
were doing
nervous.
the podcast the whole time. You just said you couldn't smell or taste.
I couldn't smell or taste. I also couldn't get off the couch.
Super sick, I don't think. I mean, well, like,
Listen,
depending-
I don't. If I got sick, a bad flu. I mean, if you just told me I'm not going to die and I'm not going to have any permanent damage, then I wouldn't care about taking risks. But the thing is, even if it's like a 0.5% risk of
permanent shit.
of intensive care, even not death, intensive care, which is 1 out of 200, right? I mean, you would not catch me anywhere near a car that had a 1 out of a 200 chance of getting into a serious car accident. No fucking way. I would be terrified. 1 out of 200 is not a risk I'm ready to take.
So when you get the vaccine and your whole family gets it, you're gonna go back out.
I'm gonna get it last because I'm the only white one in the family. But yeah, once I get the vaccine.
Yesterday in the podcast when you opened up, when we said that you weren't there because you're getting the vaccine, and everybody, all the comedians in the beginning was like very mad. It's like, because he owns a club. This is bullshit. So,
I heard they're so far behind. But on another note, Hatem, and on my phone,
I said
Hatem.
He did, yeah.
I sent this guy a text, July 17th.
That's my birthday. Go ahead.
He just got back to me now. So sometimes people do take a while to get back to you. I just want you to know that. So you can't blame Bobby completely.
No, but
I sent an application to UPenn Law in 1992. Have not heard back. I ended up going to another law school.
I just want to say one thing just to end this with is like, Bobby, like Noam felt so bad and he was calling me like, this is how much he loves you, that he really was taking, even though it wasn't his fault at all. And wasn't my fault, I think, but Rich, that's I know.
Let the record, people listening, Rich just hung up. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Noam was really upset, and he wanted to understand what happened and all that because he really cared about you.
Robert hung up. Go ahead, Hatem.
No, now you're gonna hang up. I know.
I promise I won't hang up. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Now that he's there, he's very sensitive, But yeah, I don't think it was.
Did Rich leave? Why did Rich go?
They were just. It's a joke, you speak. Hatem was getting poignant, and they just hung up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They do that. Yeah, they do that.
Well, are they going to come back?
No, this is it.
They're not coming back?
This is the funniest story ever.
No, I did want your opinion, by the way, about, and which you didn't get to it, about the show Bridgerton, where they use black actors. They have sort of only black. They don't have any Asians, but they use black actors to portray like English aristocracy in 1815.
I think we should all leave now.
You have any thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, if it's interesting, I mean, I'm not against it. It's a little. These things are a bit contrived. Obviously, they're working backwards from something they're trying to do, which is for quasi-political reasons. Having said that, in the hands of a masterful or clever person, it might yield some interesting results. So I'm not against it, but I usually do roll my eyes.
The justification of it,
Hamilton did something. I didn't see Hamilton actually.
Well, Hamilton did it for stylistic purposes. This is just kind of like they figure, okay, we'll include everybody, and this way, if you're a black viewer, this way you get to enjoy the show because you're seeing people that look like you and you feel included. But I do wonder if people are going to be upset that they're kind of whitewashing racism in that area, like they're saying, oh, in this area everybody got along, and they might get complaints on the other end.
Well, it's absurd to present a story about Asians using white or black actors. I mean, the whole thing is absurd, right? I mean, but I guess you can do it. But when you do it, you're doing something different than trying to just do a straight movie. You're making some sort of point,
Yeah, I think.
And again, I'm not against it. I'm really not. It's just, it's contrived and maybe it'll work. I don't know.
The one thing I want to, when I mentioned Cleopatra with Beyonce and Angelina Jolie. Like, this is history. That's my point. Is like, you can't in something like she was Angelina Jolie kind of looking, or Elizabeth Taylor.
Listen, they tell you in when they teach you literature at a young age, they talk about the first thing in a book they want you is to take note of the setting, medieval England, whatever the setting is, right? And the setting implies all sorts of things, including the race of the characters, including the climate, the architecture, all of it. If you want to show a picture of an urban setting and say it's St. Windsor Castle, you can do that, but people know, well, it's not really, but you're doing something here that and we can suspend our disbelief and maybe we'll enjoy it anyway, but it's not that.
The point that I heard made about the show on Netflix that I'm talking about is that, well, people in 1815 England also had bad teeth and their hair wasn't perfectly done, and they
that's
didn't.
Not the same thing.
So I don't know if it's, yeah, I mean,
That's not the same thing.
I've heard that point made,
But you don't buy that point, do you?
No, I don't. I mean, when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, this feels weird, but it doesn't inhibit my enjoyment of it. But it must be said that if the opposite were done, a movie about, say, the court of the Han Dynasty, and it was all white characters or half white characters, then people would be upset about that.
Well,
So,
that is the case, though.
Maybe there's a difference. Maybe maybe one is justifiable because this way you're including more black actors. They get to work. They don't have as many roles. So this is nice.
There is something interesting here that at some point people are going to talk about it. Black people are 13% or 12% of the population, and they certainly are the minority group that has the most profound right to have resentment towards America, but they get almost 100% of this consideration. But there's just as many Asians in this country, right, as black people. There are a lot of substantial minority groups, and we're not jumping through hoops and changing things to represent all groups this way. Only black groups, and at some point, other groups are gonna say, well, "What about us? What about us? What about us?" It's just an observation, I'm really not against this stuff. But
I don't understand how nobody seems even the slightest bit perturbed that both of our guests just signed off without.
First of all, we've been doing this an hour and a half. So, by the way, if you want to cut out some of the stuff with Bobby and fighting with Hatem at the beginning, we have that leeway now because we have an extra half hour. That's what they do. They do that. That's what they do. They say they hang up. They leave each other with the check at restaurants. That's their shtick.
Yeah.
You don't know them. I've known them for a long time. That's their thing.
Yeah,
that's their brand name. That's their brand.
Actually, we used to do that all the time. Like, you will ask something special. Like, we'll ask somebody something that they really want to talk about, and as soon as they start talking, everybody just leaves.
Okay, so by the way, this is interesting.
Yeah, go ahead.
So blacks are 12.3% of the population. Mexicans are 10.9% of the population. You combine them with all the other Spanish-speaking people, they're significantly more than black people. I think I was wrong about Asians, but if you mix Indians and Asians together, it looks like it's like 7 or 8%. Indians and the descendants of China, the people we used to call Oriental. If you mix them all together as a group, which they're not really one group, but if you mix them together, then it's a significant population. And when you start thinking this way, then like, why don't they make them? Why aren't Mexicans getting their movie where they get to play the English aristocracy?
Actually, there's a lot of Netflix shows in Spanish now, like American Netflix, like Narcos and all that. There's a lot of them. So,
I mean, isn't it better just the fact that we all enjoy seeing stories about all groups now? Like, it seems to me that most Americans are very happy to see a really good story about a black family or a black story or a black, black characters. We don't need them to turn white stories into black actors. What's I think would be nicer for our country is that we all enjoy seeing stories about all different people, right?
True.
I mean, the Cosby Show was a long time ago already, and that already established the idea that America really was totally fine with this stuff.
I mean, I would mention, by the way, that the show that I was referring to was an English show, but the same point applies.
Yeah.
It happens to be an English show, but
Like they, whatever.
but I think the point is, yeah. I mean, yeah.
So there's this new CBS, the new CBS streaming service. They're making a series of The Stand, the Stephen King movie, The Stand, and there's a character in there named Tom Cullen, I think is his name. I read the book, and he's deaf. And there's a controversy now that there's a non-deaf character playing that role. And actually, I emailed this deaf guy, Tom Willard, this deaf comedian who's performed a few times at the Cellar, and I asked him what he thought about it. And he wrote me a really thoughtful email, and he's bothered by it. He feels that, deaf actors get no opportunities, and he feels that they should have had a deaf character.
Well, at least use a Def Jam character, a Def Jam actor. Maybe Paul Mooney.
Now, that's not exactly the same thing because they're actually playing a deaf character, but I thought he was going to say the opposite. And then he was like, no, it's just, I'm really bothered by this. They should have deaf actors playing deaf characters.
Can a deaf actor do the same job? That is, like, if you're yelling out, if you're saying, like, okay, action, and he's standing there. I mean, I guess
Yeah, I mean, first of all, deaf people can A, read lips, and B, sign. And just because you are deaf doesn't mean that you can't speak or interact in English.
I know, but I'm just wondering whether there might be some logistical.
I'm sure it's a little more arduous to deal with that, but I'm sure it's pretty easily overcomable. They have an assistant or whatever it is. But spinning it out, do I think that the Jews in the camps and Schindler's List needed to be played by Jewish actors? No, of course I don't.
That's a little bit different, though, isn't it?
No. Why is it different?
I would prefer that they use non-Jewish actors to play the Jews, in Schindler's List. I always prefer they have a non-Jewish actor,
Heroes were Jewish.
Yeah. Steve says that the Germans in Hogan's Heroes were
Jewish. The Nazi, the Luftwaffe and the Nazis were Jewish in Hogan's.
The Klingons were Jewish.
And the Klingons were Jewish.
Yeah,
no, I think
James Spader once played a Jewish guy. I mean, I don't know who came up with that idea in a movie called White Palace. James Spader played a Jew. I mean, that's got to be the most. And also Gregory Peck played a Jewish guy in Gentlemen.
That was a great movie, White Palace. I loved that movie.
But I think if it's a period of history, it should be played by whoever. But if it's a character, something like we talked about before, like James Bond, for example, that's, I don't know.
But it's not about the actor. It's about the presentation of the movie being plausible. Like one thing that a good movie does, in my opinion, is that you don't find yourself lifted from the moment, taken out of the moment of the movie. So you don't find yourself thinking about the production or the special effects. You're engrossed in the movie. But all of a sudden, when you see a character that's just a totally different race or something, immediately you're thinking about the making of the movie.
They've been doing this with white people.
And that's not a good thing for a movie. What?
They've been doing this with white people playing non-white roles for decades.
Well, they shouldn't do that. I mean, they like seeing a white person with makeup on their eyes to play an Asian is disconcerting.
Yes. For decades.
Right, but so what's your point? So now that we should do it for another few decades to get even?
We as white people, or white-ish, or off-white, or white adjacent, don't think about this very often. But you hear a lot from, there was an Asian girl I went to high school with, and when that movie with Ali Wong came out, Always Be My Maybe, she went on Facebook and said, "This is so great." And I would never guess that she would have thought this way, and I've known her for decades. But she's saying, we see a romantic leads that are Asians. And
totally. People want to see
that. Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I never thought of that. Like, I see people I don't want to see a romantic lead that looks like me. I'm happy to see a romantic lead that looks like Brad Pitt. Thrilled to see it. But now you can argue that's not quite the same thing. Now, Hatem, you're a Middle Eastern fellow. When you see, white blonde people on screen, do you say, I wish it was somebody that looked more like me? I'd rather it be somebody that looked more like me on the screen.
I think if it's a good actor, it's the show, it's gonna be put together. I understand that you're trying to relate to it, but no, not really. I don't see it that way. But However, when I feel that need, I watch porn because porn is very the categories in porn is very specific, you know. So you can be the lead if you want, you know.
Well, yeah, you can get porn. You can also get Muslim women with, I think, burqas.
Everything, whatever you want, it's all there.
Obviously, we're obsessed with race in this country. I would like to. I think the standard I would like is pretty simple. Nobody should be mocked for their race. Nobody should be making fun of somebody for their race. And other than that, I wish that these other things didn't matter. You know, I wish that this whole concept of cultural appropriation would disappear. I think it's one of the most damaging things, one of the most damaging ideas out there. The most natural thing for a healthy America would be cultural appropriation, where everybody starts to be influenced and adopting the things they like about other cultures. It's crazy.
And you're a club owner and a business owner. I mean, like any comedian, all you need to be is funny, and you will hire him. It doesn't matter what they are, you know.
As long as they identify as the sex of their genetics, yes.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Why are you shaking your head? It's a joke, Periel. Of course I don't.
You know, I don't know how many emails you get, and we've probably been through this on other episodes, but how many emails do you get from people saying, you know, I wish I would have seen another woman. I wish I'd have seen another black guy, or
yeah, we get them. Yeah, and I always tell them the only thing, careful what you wish for, because the woman that I would have had to, you know, or whatever it is that you're asking for, we picked them as comics, and if you had to sit through the person that was available, you would have seen a worse show, you know. I mean,
I think
we're not short on women at the Comedy Cellar, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
No, okay. I think the point is that representation is important, and people want to see people who look like them. I mean, we were just talking about this the other day. I think it was with you, about how they've started to make dolls that, you know, maybe are in a wheelchair or have one arm.
Like Jappy Long Island women?
That what? No, all the dolls look
like a Jappy Queen's accent doll.
No, those exist. Those are plentiful. But you want?
Yes, of course. There was handicap. Making handicap dolls. That's beautiful. Of course.
Yeah, it's great.
Want your handicapped child to see, but yeah, this is not. That's the thing. They put these two issues together.
Differently abled.
What kind of monster would begrudge somebody, whatever the fucking word is word police, kill me. Whatever, what if you have a child who's in a wheelchair, what kind of monster wouldn't want that child to be able to play with a doll in a wheelchair? Of course. That's crazy talk. But that's quite different than saying you want to do a movie about England in the 1600s that you want to have black actors.
But if you're saying it's the best actor, then it shouldn't matter whether he's black or not, right? Like, you shouldn't even notice.
But part of being a best actor,
you have to look like the character you're playing.
Yeah, you have to fit the role.
People have been successfully playing roles that are not white roles for decades.
What did Steve say?
And you think that's mistaken? You think that was ridiculous, right?
No, I'm not going to walk into this fucking trap. Hold on.
Well, because you don't think you have to be consistent. You just think that you can win the argument by pointing out that somebody did something bad in the past.
I mean, listen, Denzel Washington and Leonardo DiCaprio both are great actors, and they can swap movies. But there's certain movies like Leonardo DiCaprio cannot play Glory. You know, it's just not going to be the same. What are you laughing about, Noam? What's going on in the background?
See, he doesn't understand. He can't talk to me while the mic's on. He says that Periel is upset because she doesn't get to see enough Fran Drescher movies. See, that's Naturman's. That's high praise for Naturman. That like he could barely stop control.
I tell you something. The show Fauda, the Israeli show, you know, Fauda. Did you see it? It's on Netflix. Fauda. It's a great show, Israeli show, unfortunately, but it's great. I like that there's Arabic actors and Israeli actors. Like, they give Arabic, and even though Israeli actors could play Arabic roles, obviously, because they look the same, but yeah, that's something I can relate to, you know, even though I don't like the parts.
I don't care if Arab actors play Jewish roles. I don't think it's stupid.
No, I think it's the opposite.
What I just sent you guys?
Jewish actors play Arabs.
I don't look at what you sent me. Hold on. You sent me
This is a list of the times that white actors played people of color, and no one really gave a shit.
Like what? Okay,
Now, some of
Angelina
these white
Jolie played Mary, but she looks like her.
Marianne Pearl was very, very light-skinned. I don't know who Antonio Mendez is, but the point is people are against that, Periel. That's the point that no one was making.
I don't see anything wrong with Angelina Jolie. She looks just like her.
Yeah, she
Okay,
does kind
so
of
that's
look
what
like
I'm
her.
saying. So what difference does it
We
make?
have a fucking DNA test? She looks like her. Why can't you? See, now you have Mickey Rooney with like big buck teeth playing Mr. Yonioshi. That's different. He's mocking Asians there.
Look at
They're
Kathryn
mixing-
Hepburn as Jade.
Kathryn Hepburn as Kathryn Hepburn. Natalie Wood as Maria. Natalie Wood looks fine as Maria. I don't remember Puerto Ricans being.
Maria was what, Hispanic? I mean, Hispanics can.
Yeah, Natalie Wood couldn't look like a Puerto Rican. There's plenty of white Puerto. I mean, the whole thing is silly. Puerto Ricans love West Side Story. They weren't complaining about Natalie
So
Wood.
what are you saying? You're saying that people of color shouldn't play white people, or it shouldn't matter at all?
I think he's saying
You're showing me people. You're showing me white people who are trying to pass. You're telling me Angelina, who I guess is white, who's playing somebody who looks just like her, but is technically of color. I have no idea who this Marianne Pearl is. That sounds stupid.
Married
Look,
to Daniel Pearl, the journalist who was murdered.
okay, that's his wife, and she was black.
I think she was half black, I believe.
Half black. So I mean, if you see the picture, they look exactly. And I'm saying, well, that's fine. If they had a ebony black woman here playing, playing Marianne Pearl, I'd be like, well, that doesn't look. It doesn't look like what it's
Right. So
supposed
I'm
to look
asking,
like.
what were you saying? Were you saying
What don't you understand? I'm
I-
saying that people shouldn't mock other races, number one. And number two, I think if you're trying to play a role and the role has a race, you should look like that race.
so? But it doesn't matter. You're saying.
Yeah, if you're supposed to be a dark Jew, from a Middle Eastern looking Jew, and you're an Arab, I don't have any problem with that because it looks totally plausible on the screen. When I watch the movie, I'm not like, holy shit, do they expect me to believe that guy's a Middle Eastern Jew? But if they put some Asian guy up there and say, behold Moses or something, like, what the fuck? This is silly. So you want to have an Asian, like a Chinese looking Moses? I mean, and then call me a racist because I think it's silly? Okay, call me a racist. What do you want from me?
What about Black Santa Claus?
Oh, shut up, Steve. All right. Anyway, I think it's.
Well, we have plenty of. If we want to cut any of Robert Kelly's and Hatem's, battle.
Johnny Depp played Tonto.
Well, I don't think people like that either. At least
And that was very recent.
I don't think you could do it. It wasn't that recent. It was, things change. Things move very fast in terms of those sorts of things.
But I would hope that people
Actually,
wouldn't have a problem with Johnny Depp playing. If you look at it, it's plausible. I mean,
Johnny Depp, I do think has some Indian background. I'm not sure, but I believe he.
I guess what I'm saying is there's a history of white people playing Indians. But I think what's offensive about that is the way me want them, that the way they play the character is shallow and mocking, and no Native American person could feel good about the way their people were portrayed on the screen. I don't think the issue is the DNA of the person who played the character. If you look at Johnny Depp, this is on a Huffington Post thing. He just put. I don't see any issue with it. I mean, I'm not Indian. They don't like it. Then don't let them play it. Whatever. But as a Jewish person who could imagine something similar, I wouldn't care about that. If he's a hero, if he's playing the character, and I understand it's different because Indians have a history of oppression and genocide in this country, and of course we want to be more sensitive to them. But we also have to have a future in this country where we get beyond prioritizing race in a way where even when people are doing something because they admire you, you want to reject it and disqualify it. And that's a real problem for America. We're going to have to get beyond that somehow. Otherwise, a multicultural society cannot work. So, I would err on the side of having a thicker skin about this stuff, so long as it's clear that the intention is nice and good and is not mocking and arrogant and bigoted. You know.
Yeah,
That's what
that seems reasonable. But I also think that in addition to that, it is important to give people roles who maybe traditionally haven't gotten them, like your friend.
No, I think it's important to have more stories about different races and different groups, because I think it's stupid to think that people can't enjoy them. I mean, I saw what was the movie, A Slumdog Millionaire, right? That was totally. Who didn't love Slumdog Millionaire? What kind of crazy white person like, I can't enjoy this because they don't look like me? You're getting if it's a great story, it's a great story. I saw Sounder, in third grade, and we were all white kids, and we loved that movie. We watched it over and over again. Whatever, it's I don't know. Okay, are we done here?
I guess so. Yeah, we're done.
I mean, I'll just appreciate a goodbye from everybody without just fucking signing off.
If you want to be in this business, you're going to have to understand comedy.
I didn't think it was that funny.
Do we want to do predictions for 2021? We did
predictions for 2021.
Periel, the first time you're going to do it to somebody, it's going to be so funny. I'm telling you. wait. Just do it the next time you can, and you're going to appreciate it.
Don't do it, Noam.
I'm texting my dad, like, hang up as soon as Periel gives her prediction. Periel, go ahead. What's your prediction for 2021, Periel?
I don't know, but I just read that it's going to take, at the rate we're going, it's going to take 10 years for everybody in America to get vaccinated.
And what does that tell you? What does that tell you? You think we're going to be at the same rate? You think that the rate that the first week is actually going to be the rate that's going to continue? Is that really what you think?
You guys go first. You guys go first.
They told us we couldn't have a vaccine for years. Go ahead. Hatem, what's your prediction?
2021. I think it's going to be great. I think really we're going to maybe 2-3 months and things are going to go back to as normal as it can be. I think people are gonna be okay, and business is gonna go back. I think New York is gonna get back to what it should be, and I think the flag behind you won't be recognized anymore, and more people will sign treaty with Israel. But I think I'm optimistic about this year. I think things will be good. From a point of view, like when I talked to my doctor about vaccine, he said the technology that they use in this vaccine is magnificent, and it's going to help in a lot of fields. So I think we'll be okay.
How come you haven't gotten a vaccine yet?
There's no enough study about transplant.
All right. Right. Okay, Dan.
Pardon?
What's your?
My prediction is by May we will have reached herd immunity, and we will be at pre-pandemic levels in terms of the public will be back to normal. Unfortunately, a week later, NASA will have discovered a large asteroid heading toward Earth, and will destroy us all by December.
Now, whoever's going to be, what color are the aliens going to be?
No, there's no aliens. It's an asteroid.
Oh, okay. But there's no aliens after that?
Yeah. Periel, what's your prediction?
I also don't think Hatem needs the vaccine because he had COVID.
Yeah, but he takes rejection medicine. I don't know, whatever. Dr. Aschenbrand, go ahead. Tell me what.
I think it's going to be great. I think we're going to all get back on stage, and the cellar is going to open I think like around April. I think when it starts to get warm out, I think we just have to make it through the winter, a few more months. And I think that
go ahead.
No, I think that people really need to follow protocol, though. I really do. I'm sorry to not be funny and sound like.
Did you say protocol?
Yes.
Protocol sounds like a character.
No, I think that people really need to wear their fucking masks and not be stupid. I really do think that is something that.
That's
not a prediction.
Well, I already gave my prediction.
But Noam's been making that point. It would be a bad time to die of COVID when we're this close to the analogy that I made about when they declared that World War I will end tomorrow at 11 a.m. and like 2,000 people died between that agreement and the actual ceasefire that took place at 11 a.m., which I always found kind of interesting.
My prediction is that a lot of marriages are going to break up as soon as they're literally going to go from the vaccine to the lawyer's office. I can't take another day with this bitch, or vice versa.
Sort of like a variation on the joke about pack your bags. I just won the lottery.
Yeah.
So pack your bags. I just got vaccinated.
And, can I do one more prediction? Can I do one more prediction? I predict same day next year. Yeah. Me and Robert Carr is gonna have another fight because he was not in the show the night before of the recap of 2021.
All right. And I want to say that Steve Fabricant's line. Steve Fabricant had the line of the night. The Fran Drescher comment.
Wait, can I get my prediction?
Oh, Steve has a prediction. Go ahead. You gotta sit.
And you have to be.
Steven, have a seat. Good to see you as always.
Hey guys.
Hi,
Hey,
Steve.
how many times did Rich Voss mispronounce your name? First of all.
Oh, he always does.
Yeah, but I think he's just goofing around.
You guys all know me. You guys know I have great foresight. So what I'm about to say is my prediction for 2021. So listen very carefully.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Is that the joke?
And that's what that's my prediction.
I guess that's a joke, right? He froze.
Oh boy, he was so close. He was so close. He was so close to coming out the winner, and then he had to show that it was beginner's luck. All right,
everybody.
You saw somebody do that, and it worked. It was very funny, right? You had to commit to it longer.
Yeah, it was.
It also had to be like something much more like, okay, the answer, the cure for cancer. More.
Yeah, you do it better.
Of greater import than his prediction. They don't.
Right, so you're gonna have to get Lou to edit this into a bite-sized episode. You can play the whole thing on YouTube, but
I keep trying to just scroll through and find that picture of me and Fran Drescher, but I can't find it.
Well, it's a good thing we did extra time because I do think that half hour up front was a little bit much. You can never tell what an audience member might find interesting, but it did seem like that fight went on a little longer than necessary.
Yeah, I think so too.
Hatem.
Yeah.
Your backdrop looked like a Pornhub by coincidence.
You're the only one that got the joke.
Oh my God, you does. Yeah, I didn't even. So
Nobody got that joke.
4 hours last night. I was looking at that thing. It never dawned.
Amazing.
Hours? How can you spend hours watching porn, Dan?
No. I spent hours last night doing the show, and he had that background.
What's the longest you can go in a porn episode?
7.5 minutes.
It depends on the episode. It depends on I might want to sometimes you throttle it up and then you throttle it, and then you throttle it back. And then you push the throttle forward, and just to keep it, you put it out there idle. Sometimes you idle, right? You ever idle?
And there are never any surprise endings.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's why you fucked him in the yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
I will see you later.
All right, take care. Thank you.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Did I have you going for a minute?
No.
All right. Well, okay.